Here you are. We have an early spring coming for sure. I'm going to flip my camera around so I can talk with you guys. Hello! I've decided to come outside today because it is actually very warm out here. And I might be staying in a pile of ants, so if I start flipping out a little bit, it's because they're biting me. Although I think we're kind of early enough in the season that they probably won't bite me yet, but they're going to get very active soon, so hopefully the light isn't too bad out here. I've had to put on my sunglasses. It's pretty bright, so. Anyway, today I kind of wanted to talk with you about maybe one of my biggest problems with social media. And here's the confession time. I absolutely never know what in the world to ever post. And I have like my business Facebook page and stuff like that, and I kind of run my Instagram a little bit more like a business. And if you haven't, I didn't introduce myself at the start. My name is Keely. I'm the owner of lovehopeadventure.com, and I blog about the marriage and marriage relationship and the home, and I do some lifestyle posts. So I have a business Facebook page that I update pretty regularly, and I feel like I know what to do over there. But when it comes to my personal page, I feel like I never know what to say or what to put up there, because here's a little bit of a confession. I struggled a lot a couple of years ago with looking at other people's Facebook page. Yeah, I do post what I eat some, but I'm not a big foodie, so I don't know, those posts get really old to me, and I don't want to see a bunch of food on my feed. So I'm not saying people shouldn't do that, but it's not really in line with who I am and what I do. I do cook a lot, but honestly, I'm not a presentation person, so food always looks ridiculous on my feed. I don't ever think it looks tasty, and it's certainly not professionally made or done. So for me, though, I really struggled a few years ago when we were going through this time in our life where we just were really struggling financially. And I had gotten into like Facebook and social media and stuff because I kind of got into it a little bit early on because we were in youth ministry. And so I was doing it because of teenagers, and that's what most people do. You're right. This is why I don't ever know what to post, because I think, really, who cares? Why does anybody care what I'm eating and drinking and doing and going? So I want my posts to always be interesting and relevant and help people. So that's why I just actually stay pretty quiet on my personal pages. And when it comes to Instagram, I do want to engage with people over there. I've really struggled on Instagram because for a long time the market was for younger kids, and I only got on Instagram because of teenagers. The same reason I got onto Facebook. Now Periscope's a little bit different. I got on here because I feel like I can reach out to people more, have discussions with people. Instagram, all that, I think is kind of that's a good idea. Actually, I know someone else who does that. They pick a theme each month or a message that you want to pass on. And personal page, like I said, I really struggle with that. And the reason I do is during this period of time where we were really financially struggling, I remember us making a decision that we weren't going to go on a vacation one year. And we rarely went on vacations anyways, but I was really wanting to go somewhere this particular year, and we had to make the decision that we just couldn't do it. And we had been on vacations 2 years previous, so this particular year we were just unable to afford it. And I swear every day I got on Facebook, everybody was talking about all the vacations they were taking. I'm going over here, I'm going over there. I'm taking my kids this place or that place, and we literally didn't have any money to go anywhere, like, especially not away, and we were really having to kind of keep it tight on even just going out to other places. So I was very jealous of what I was seeing, and I felt really down in the dumps about myself, like, oh my gosh, everybody else seems to be having all this fun, and here I am sitting at home doing nothing. January kills you, huh? So I think that it really bothered me, and it was hard for me. And what I had to realize is that I have on my personal Facebook page, I probably have like 500 friends. I've lived a lot of places, okay? And so these are people I actually know. I don't bring people on my page that I don't actually know. If you are on Instagram, that's different. I follow people follow me, whatever. But my personal Facebook is different. And I mean, like 500 friends, yeah, 2 or 3 of them are going to be somewhere like every single day. And I really struggled with that. I struggled with feeling like everyone was always having a great time. Everybody was always doing all these awesome things that I wanted to be able to do and I couldn't. And so it made me feel bad. And what I don't want to do with my Facebook page or my Instagram or my social media posting is I don't want to make other people feel bad, if you know what I mean. And so I think that social media can be good and it can really have some damaging effects. And, you know, I titled this scope, don't base or make assumptions off of like an Instagram post or a Facebook post. Because this morning, you can go onto my Instagram. I'm Love, Hope, Adventure on Instagram. And I took a picture of a cup of coffee. And I've been trying to learn to drink my coffee black because I want to get rid of those extra calories. And it also just makes it easier so I don't always have to have half and half, which is what I've been drinking in it for a while. So for me, I was taking a little picture of my coffee cup. Now I'm going to tell you something. If you were to pan out from that coffee cup, you'd have seen like the fact that I needed to wipe my counters down. There was something in the back on the counter that wasn't very pleasing to the eye, so I had to move it around a little bit so I could just get this teeny little snapshot of my coffee mug and something that looks pretty, you know, nice there and cute. And I just was sitting there thinking to myself, gosh, you know, if I packed up some and showed people everything that was going on my counter, it really would not have been a very good picture. And people would have been like, why is she posting pictures of her trashy kitchen on here, right? And I really started thinking about how we do that with your trashy place, right? They don't want to see everything piled up, but people do want to know you're real. And it's like this very hard balance to strike. It's like, okay, well, I mean, reality is I needed to wipe down the counters. And there's coffee grinds all over the place from making coffee this morning. But, I mean, that's not, people don't want to see that. People aren't going to follow me if they see coffee grinds everywhere, right? So I think we sort of struggle with that. And it's so easy to make assumptions on your phone that's like half the size of the screen. And you've got them all summed up because you follow them on Facebook a little bit or Instagram a little bit or wherever you follow them. Even here on Periscope, look, you can only see, this is all you're seeing. If you watch my other scopes, you might see my bedroom in the background. Sometimes I haul you around and show you a little bit of stuff in my house. But this isn't a way to make a real assumption of who I am and what I deal with on a daily basis. You see this very small image of me in this very small amount of time. And you only see what I let you see. You don't see the full picture. And yeah, you got to, from a picture of your kids going through a power struggle, yeah, okay. I think that's great if you have pictures of your kids power struggling. My kids struggle every day. And we have things that happen to us every single day, right? Things that we don't, you know, I mean, to a degree, you don't want to, like, give all your woes to the world. Look at how ridiculous and terrible my life is. And you also don't, you know, because you don't want to be a Debbie Downer and being like, I've had the crummiest year, all right? Forget about a day. The last year, I'm just kicking that one out and talking about that every single day and all your troubles. And at the same time, I mean, you want to be encouraging but not discouraging. You know what I mean? This is a real fight I have within myself, obviously. And so I just stay silent a lot of times because I'm like, nobody gives a crap what I ate for dinner last night. I mean, maybe some people do. If you're trying to come up with healthy things, and I did do a scope on Saturday about some food I made, because let's be real, food, man, we got to do that every day. We got to be cooking, we got to be cleaning our stuff, and if somebody wants to take the time to teach you how to do something they're doing in that way, right on. In general, though, that's not me. I'm not going to post my food every day or my recipes every day, because I think there's so many people out there doing that. So if you need that education, you can totally find it, and you don't have to get it from me. I don't mind doing it every once in a while, though. But I think that we do that, right, with social media, and we do that with life. Even people that you're going to see them, just a little bit of them, right? Maybe you go to church somewhere and you see somebody at church on Sunday morning, or maybe you go to a mom's group or some kind of other class, whether at the gym or, you take a class or something, and you go and you see people, you see them once a week, maybe once every couple of weeks. You only see that small thing that they're doing right then and there. And they're not going to come and just like throw up all of their troubles onto you, right? And so it's so easy for us to think, well, they've got it better than us. They've got this special secret or this special sauce, or they know the secrets to life because they are here with me right now, and they seem to be having a great time, and they seem to be having fun. And on the inside, I'm completely dying. But we don't ever stop to think maybe they're faking it just as much as the next person, or just as much as we are in that moment. And we make these assumptions about people and what they have versus what we have off of these tiny little representations of their life. You're only seeing what somebody allows you to see. You've got no idea what's going on behind closed doors. You don't even know what's going on in their own mind. Now, I've tried to be very outspoken with you guys about how I've struggled with body image issues. I've gotten a big response from people from that because I think we all deal with it. I think it's normal. I think everybody definitely struggles with it at least at some point or another. And maybe you don't, but I find that unusual. If you really believe that you've never had a struggle with your body image, good on you. I mean, I wish I was like that, right? So I've tried to let you guys in a little bit and say, hey, I deal with these insecurities too, because I don't want anybody to think, well, she's a blogger and she's got it all figured out. And I'm a marriage blogger, so oh my goodness, I don't ever want anybody to think that my marriage is perfect because I blog about it and I have things that I can share with other people. Let me tell you something. Everything that I blog about on my website has been born out of personal experience. I could not possibly write about this topic if, I hadn't actually experienced it myself. I couldn't write about arguments in marriage and how to deal when your spouse does things you don't like or whatever if I hadn't actually already been through it. And the things that I write about on my website is just me saying, this is how I've dealt with this. And this is what I've learned and gained. And I may not always put a very specific example in there because, I don't want to share every problem I've ever had. That wouldn't be good for my marriage or kind to my spouse or whatever. But you have to know that when I'm speaking in my posts, most of it's born out of 100% experience. Now, sometimes I might write posts on things that I don't have a lot of experience with, and I just think it might be valuable and I have an opinion about it, but most often, writers are going to write what they know. You write what you know. And so you can definitely get a lot of insight into my life through that blog, but even then, I'm not going to be able to share absolutely everything with you, and I shouldn't. Any more than you should put your entire life on the public, spectrum and let the whole world in and see everything. But it's really important. Do y'all see that enormous bee behind my head? You might have. We have these the whole time. I used to be super scared of them, but they don't have stingers, so I don't have to worry about them so much. It's just concerning. I see it coming in and out of the picture. But when it comes to the way you look at social media, off of a thumbnail picture or one little event that they chose to let you see, you need to know that there are people out there that are deeply, deeply hurting. and they're hiding it. They're hiding it for good reason, because I'm going to tell you, when you let people in, oh my goodness, you just open yourself to a even more world of hurt sometimes, right? You let somebody in and you just get criticized up and down, or they give you advice that you're like, what are you thinking? That did not help me 1 ounce, right? Because we tell our problems to people and it's like, why did you just say that? Man, when this is a personal thing I'll share with you. I miscarried 2 babies before I had my 3rd son, and I remember sharing with some people that I had miscarried, and my husband and I were talking about this the other day. We had a couple people sort of respond, well, at least, you know, if they started the sentence, at least this, it was like, okay, I'm not even going to listen to you because I lost my baby, so there's never a good side to that, really, so you should never start, well, at least. We're talking about a really serious issue. And so sometimes you share with people and it's like they don't have anything good to say. In fact, what they say is even more damaging. So I know why we have to guard ourselves, right? We have to. And so, again, like I said, I just struggle with that social media posting because I don't want the world to think I have this brilliant, amazing life any more than I want people to get the idea that I have a horrible life. The truth is, there are good days and bad days. And some days, there's good and bad and good and bad and good and bad. I mean, it's like this. I mean, today is Monday. I've had 1 good hour and then maybe 1 bad hour and then maybe 1 good hour, and I might end the day on a bad note or a good note. It's, you know, we got to take it hour by hour around here, right? Isn't that most people? You're having a really great day and all of a sudden it's like kid pooped his pants or threw up or, you know, oh, you barely posted when you were pregnant? Well, I'm going to tell you, when I was pregnant, social media wasn't even a thing, really. I mean, my youngest child is 5, and when I was pregnant, people really probably didn't care about the fact that I could not keep any of my food down. So the only thing I really had to say when I was pregnant was I threw up, 2 or 3 times today. I still feel bad. Nobody wants to read all that, right? I didn't post a lot about my pregnancies. Occasionally a pregnancy picture, maybe, I don't know. 5 years, man, social media has come a long way in 5 years. So, and like I said, people actually just quit asking me about how I was feeling with being pregnant, because every time I'd be like, well, I haven't been able to eat anything the entire week. Yes, I'm still fat, I know. It doesn't look like I haven't been able to eat, but I promise you I haven't. So I really didn't have a whole lot. Have to remind ourselves of this with social media and with life. Don't make assumptions about people. Don't think that they have the best life ever because they got to go on that cruise. That was one really awesome week for them, hopefully. But maybe they had a fight with their spouse while on that cruise. You don't know. Maybe their kids were horrible while they were on that cruise. I mean, nobody talks about the nightmare of driving, 8 hours to a fun destination, right? Oh, maybe it's all on credit card and they're gonna, be hating it once they get home, like, oh my gosh, why did we spend that much money, right? So we have no ability to really see what's truly going on from some Facebook and Instagram posts, or from some Periscopes, or even from what somebody talks about with blogging, or just those simple interactions we have with people on our day-to-day. And I hope you'll keep that in mind, because it will help you with your jealousy issues and your comparison issues. If you only compare yourself to what you can see, then you're doing yourself a disservice. If you compare yourself to the success of someone else, man, you have no idea what that success may have brought them. It may have brought them so much inner turmoil that they would rather have been unsuccessful. You might not see all of the heartbreak that they had. Sometimes you feel like I've been in your head. Well, here's the thing. I say what everyone else is thinking and nobody wants to actually come right out and say. That's just the truth of it. I constantly, My son came out. I think the bees are scaring him. It's very difficult with these wood bees out here. They're flying all around us. So yeah, I'm a pretty blunt person. I'm just going to say all the things everyone else is thinking. So maybe that's why you think that. Everybody has these same thoughts, but nobody wants to speak up and say it, right? So, you know, I think that you have to really work hard at not comparing. And, you know, there is this quote out there about comparing yourself to your past self and how that's the only comparison you should ever do. And sometimes I think, no, you shouldn't even do that comparison. Because I'm going to tell you something. There have been times in my life when I have been very successful and on point, and other times in my life when I haven't. And if it was always like this upward progression, maybe we could say that. But gosh, I've been like this, and then I've been like this. And if I had to compare myself where I was in this season of life to where I was in that season of life, I would go into depression, right? I'm just being for serious here. Yeah, the childless self. I thought I was the most patient person on the planet until I had kids. And I thought, well, gosh, I've screwed this up, right? I am no longer patient. What happened to me? I thought a lot of things about myself until the right amount of pressure was put on me. And that's what happens to all of us. So, you know, my college days, I was super busy and I did all this amazing stuff and whatever, right? And then I had kids and it was like, if I could get out of the bed and get everybody dressed and myself dressed in a day, it was like, yeah. So I don't even agree with that whole comparing yourself to your past self. Because let's just be honest, in different seasons of your life, you've got to expect something different out of yourself, right? You can't expect to be able to do as much as you once did once you throw 3 kids into the mix and running a household and paying bills and owning a house and whatever comes along with that. You have to give yourself grace. And I hope that you'll give other people grace also. Don't just apply that to your own life, but when you want to go and judge someone else or start comparing yourself to other people, give them some grace. Because you're going to see people out there that are doing it better than you and some people out there that are doing it worse than you, but that honestly shouldn't matter. It shouldn't matter how other people are handling themselves, and it honestly doesn't matter how you handled yourself yesterday. Really, the only thing that matters is how you're doing it right here, right now, this hour. Not even last hour or next hour. I'm serious. It's like this on any given day. I'm doing great. I'm not doing great. I was patient this moment with my kids. The next moment I wasn't, so fail, right? That's just kind of been on my mind. I know I've been a little bit passionate about this today because I've been thinking through this for the last couple of weeks, and I'm really struggling because, I mean, I want to be more present on Instagram because I want to engage with people since I'm willing to make that be a more public thing for myself, and I'm not going to engage with people on my private Facebook page, or personal, it's not even private, but my personal Facebook page. So I want to do that, and I just I don't know what to post. I don't think anybody cares that I ate, I don't even know what I ate last night, chicken salad or something. I don't think anybody cares that I ate that. But with Instagram, you have to have a picture, so I can't have a post that says, I don't know what to post. But I like for y'all to comment on this, you know, so please comment so I can talk with you. I can't really do that, right? So yeah, I'm really personally struggling with this a lot because I don't put a whole lot on my personal Facebook page, and I'm just at a loss with Instagram. I just really am. And what's funny is I ran a very, very successful Instagram account for one of my clients about 1.5 years ago, maybe 2 years ago. And I mean, it was successful. I grew that account to I don't know, 10,000 followers or something. And they were like, we've never seen anybody do this on Instagram. And I thought, well, clearly my personal life is not as exciting as what I did for that company. So nobody cares what I'm putting on Instagram. So anyway, thank you guys for joining me today. I've been ranting and raving a little bit. But hey, spring is in the air and I'm a little cagey. So I get fired up during this time. If you want to see what I've been blogging about, go over to lovehopeadventure.com and you can see what's on my mind over there. And of course, you can always follow me on Instagram since I am trying to come up with something. I think I'm just going to start posting black pictures. Like, you know, this is the lights out. I just wanted to post, have nothing to say. So I hope you guys have a great week too, and I will be back on around this time tomorrow, around between 12:30 and 1 is what time I always get on now. So thanks guys for joining me, and I will talk with you soon.